This is our bridge using a stability ball. It's a stabilization corrective exercise. We're going to be targeting the glutes and the hamstrings through this. Now, if you know, to begin with, we've got Stuart in this position here. So feet hip width apart, knees in line with the second toe. Hips are at neutral, which is what's giving us that neutral spine. Ears in line with the shoulders. Palms are open into that anatomical position. Okay, before we begin, let's look at different intensities or making this more intense. Stuart, if you could just pop your legs right over the ball. We can reduce the length of the lever by putting the ball closer to the knee. This is going to make this exercise slightly easier. As your client progresses, we could move it so the ball moves away and his feet end up to the top of the ball, increasing the length of the lever, making the exercise more intense. Okay, so to begin with, good couple of reps for me. So we drive up. So what's going on through here? We've got the hips driving up. It's all the glute firing. Now we know the glutes are working because the hips stay in a neutral position. Okay, we've got good hip extension, and once we get to the top of the movement, we've got really good thoracic extension through that position. Just relax there. A couple of compensations we may see through this. We may see if your client's got very tight hamstrings or underactive glutes, you may see a thing called synergistic dominance. The hamstrings are going to dominate this movement. Because of this, they'll pull the hips into a posterior position. So if you watch Stuart do this now, we see this little roll and then we drive up to the ceiling. Now we know the hamstrings are kicked in because we don't get very good glute or hip extension, and we don't get very good thoracic extension. When we see the glutes fire properly, so if you show me a couple of good reps now, we're going to say the hip, see this hip stay in a neutral position, very good extension through the hip and very good thoracic extension. Note the core's drawn in throughout because there's no distension there. Now we can progress this further into a single leg. So exactly the same checkpoints, glutes driving up. The only thing we may see is a little bit of instability, so rocking through the hips. Pay attention to this. If your client's doing this a huge amount, we need to think, are they ready for a single leg? Again, the hips are staying neutral, glutes driving through, very good hip extension, very good thoracic extension. Excellent. Now to further progress this, what we could look at doing is staying on that single leg. So we've gone from this alternating into a single leg. Same checkpoints. Hips stay nice and neutral, great hip extension, very, very good thoracic extension. Another progression is to increase the angle through the knee. So it's slightly flexed now. Feet are on the top of the ball. Exactly the same teaching points. So we're going to drive up using the glutes. We're making sure the hips stay in this neutral position. Core's drawn in. Excellent hip extension. Very good thoracic extension. If we're seeing them hips rolling posteriorly, we know the hamstrings are kicking in. Synergistic dominance is happening. Therefore, we're not activating the glutes correctly. We can go into an alternating pattern. This is very good, requires a lot of coordination. Let's have a look. We need to get reset, we re-stabilize. There's lots and lots going on. To further increase the intensity, we could stay on one leg. But throughout all the progressions, the checkpoints are exactly the same. Just relax there. Exactly the same checkpoints. We've got these neutral hips, glutes firing, getting very good hip extension into and allowing a really good thoracic extension, core's drawn in throughout the movement. Brilliant. Those are our glute bridges using a stability ball.